We have another NHL trade to discuss. The Tampa Bay Lightning have traded defenseman Ryan McDonagh. We'll discuss the details of what it means for both clubs coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some news from the NHL. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the Nashville Predators have completed a trade, and it's a fairly significant deal at that. The Lightning clearing some cap space in order to keep some of their key unrestricted free agents. So we had heard rumors that Ryan McDonagh was one of the players they were talking to about waiving his no-move clause to possibly facilitate a trade, and that is exactly what has taken place. One of the main teams mentioned was the St. Louis Blues. The Preds were not a team that was mentioned, but this likely came together pretty quick, and now McDonagh has been traded to Nashville. Obviously, Nashville is still considered a destination around the NHL. A lot of players would waive for. They like the area, the obviously fun team, fun area, fun city to play in. Lots to like about where the team is going in the right direction, and at the same time, from the tax perspective, a good situation that way as well. So McDonagh waives his no-move clause. He's traded from the Lightning to the Predators in exchange for defenseman Philippe Myers and young prospect forward Grant Mishmash. Now, Mishmash is a 23-year-old forward who's played one pro season in the American Hockey League after completing a 4-year career at the University of North Dakota. A little bit early, but he's 23 years old. Not really sure he's trending towards becoming an NHL player, but he could play some games down the road, but will certainly be a minor league player in a team like Tampa. Obviously, that's pretty stacked. It's going to be challenging, as the least you can say, for him to make that NHL roster anytime soon, but really that's just a matter of them taking a contract on to get this done. Of course, McDonagh still had 4 years left, around $6.7 million. Now, Philippe Myers has 1 year left, going back to Tampa, right shot defenseman, 1 year at 2.5. Now, he's got a unique contract the way it's structured. If the Lightning decide to do a buyout here, not only would they not have any cap hit this year, they would actually get a cap credit, and they'd be able to free up, instead of $2.5 million, they actually get around, I think it's around $3.2 million that they would get credit for on the salary cap. So right now, they're coming ahead by $4.2 million, which is the difference between what McDonagh earns and what Myers is earning, but it could go as high as 7.2 if they do execute a buyout. Now, that in the beginning, when this trade was first executed here in the past couple of hours, that was the impression I think a lot of NHL insiders were under, that the Lightning were going to do a buyout here to create even more cap space, and they still might do that. But I did see, just before I hit record here, a note from Chris Johnston, very reputable NHL insider, saying not sure that they're going to, that they might actually hang on to Myers, and he may be a player on their roster this year. So we'll see. I mean, obviously, they might want to wait a little bit, see if they can sign Jan Rutta. He's one of those key UFAs, along with Andre Palat. Palat definitely will be ranked higher in the pecking order here for sure. But the Lightning obviously really like their team. If they can find a way to keep Nick Paul and Andre Palat, especially, which is right now on the way of happening. They already get Paul signed. This will free up money to get Palat looked after, at least you would think. And then we see if they can keep a whole Jan Rutta or not. But they may not push as hard to do that where they have Myers now. I mean, assuming they're going to keep him. But if they do a buyout, then they'll obviously use that money to sign Rutta. I'm not sure what direction they're going to go in. I mean, Myers has got a lot of size. Obviously, somebody who has had a lot of potential, but has really been kind of underwhelming and had a hard time getting developed and had some injuries and things like that. So started for his career in Philly before going to Nashville, and now he goes over to Tampa. So the Lightning once again find a way, as they've done here during their old days under Steve Yzerman, currently under Julian Breezeball the last few years. Like, they keep finding ways to maneuver around the salary cap to kind of accomplish what they want here. This was a brilliant move, and if they do buy out Myers, it just goes to show how much extra thinking went into that, so that they can not only move McDonagh's contract, but get the extra amount as well. So we'll see what happens, if they'll do a buyout or not. They have until July 12th to execute that before that free agency opens. Now, from Nashville's perspective, obviously they've prided themselves for a long time on being a strong defensive team, having a really strong blue line. So Ryan McDonagh joins an already pretty solid blue line with obviously Captain Roman Josi back there, Matthias Ekholm. They just signed Jeremy Lauzon for, I think it was a 3 or 4 year contract. Of course, they get Mark Borowiecki back there as well. The only concern for me is they have a lot of left-handed D. Outside of Dante Fabro, the bulk of the other guys that are likely to be regulars, at least as it stands today, are all left-shot defensemen. Now, I mean, you could always have somebody play their offside. It's not like you can't do that, and I'm sure that some of them are used to doing that, but it's just not ideal to have too many doing it. So I do wonder if they may make some additional moves. Like I said, you got Josi, McDonagh, Ekholm, Lauzon, and Borowiecki, all left shot D. Some are more comfortable playing their offside than others. Maybe they have 2 of those 5 players play the offside. Or I do wonder if we might see an additional move here as well, but we'll see. I guess, some coaches don't mind having guys on their offside, whereas some coaches really like to have, your lefts on your left, your rights on your right, and kind of keep them on their strong side. So we'll see where that goes, but certainly, regardless of what they do in that respect, Ryan McDonagh definitely makes them a stronger, better defensive team and tougher to play against. I think that's fair to say with all the experience he has. He brings a lot of playoff experience, a couple of Stanley Cups to his name, a captain of the Rangers in the past, an alternate captain with Tampa, well-respected, good locker room guy. So either way, they got themselves a good character player and a good player on the ice as well. There's likely going to be more activity around these teams than the rest of the league. The draft, of course, is coming up July 7th. We still have another 4 or 5 days ahead of time. It's expected to be busy, and I will be back with another video later today to discuss what the latest rumblings are around the league, what else we might see happen throughout this week. So stay tuned for that. Let me know your thoughts on the trade in the comments. We'll discuss further. If you're new to this channel, again, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest news, rumors, and analysis on all 32 NHL teams. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.